Hello! Welcome to class. This is Learn to Paint with Scarlett. That's me, of course. Today I sat down and thought I was going to have a cup of coffee, and then I put it on my desk and the sun came in and it shined and it just looked beautiful. I took a photo. First I sketched it as much as I could while the sun was still there, and then I decided this is not going to work. I need to take a photo so I can really capture what that looks like, because in this room I only have one light, one window, and the sun is just moving. In fact, it's about 2.5 meters away from where it was when I started painting. So I captured that photo of this, and then this is what I did. What do you think? So if you're interested in learning how I was able to capture these lights and darks, which is what this study is all about, it's just a quick study. When I filmed it, it took me 1 hour and 47 minutes. I don't know how long it's going to be for you guys. I will speed up some of it. The parts that I'm not talking, I'll speed them all up. But it's just a quick study on lights and darks, capturing those shadows and really bringing out those highlights of my morning coffee. So now, join me, and I'm going to, we'll go ahead and do the whole painting, and then I'm going to go get a new coffee because this one is cold and not so nice anymore. Still smells good though. Actually, it kind of is like iced coffee. Don't forget, I do have timestamps, so you can always jump ahead if you want to see all the way to the end what the final image looks like, or if there's any point in the middle, if you want to know how I painted the spoon, or the handle, or the shadow, or first layer, second layer, third layer. Like I said, it took me 1 hour and 47 minutes, so there's a lot in here. But you can always jump anywhere around there, and you'll find that down in the description below, the timestamps. Just click on the number next to what it says, like 0038 will mean 38 seconds in the video, and it'll jump you to that point, and then you can see or start there or go back and forth or whatever you want. Okay, let's dig in. Now, the sun is moving and the sun is coming and going behind the clouds, so this is really crazy complicated and a little on the fast side. This is what I've sketched so far. And I've put tiny X's where the lights are going to go, where the highlights are. And then I took my eraser and I went over it, and I just really lightly took out some of the pencil lines. You can see some here, they're still a little harsh. I could take some of those out a little bit more on my little piece. So it took me maybe 3-4 minutes to sketch it out. And funny enough, as I was doing that, of course, just long enough that the light changed. So I had to move my desk, so this little desk keeps going closer and closer and closer to those cupboards back there. Okay, before I dig in, I gotta tell you guys about what I'm doing here, so my paints and my colors. Now, if you're interested, you don't want to know that, you just want to jump to the actual image, my final image over here, then go down to my timestamps and jump to where it says starting to paint. But for now, let's talk about the brushes. I'm using a round 12 and a 02. This entire piece, which we're about to do together, is based on lines, and that's how I'm going to refer to it. My top line, the line behind that, the line under that, the far lines, the close lines, the straight lines, the curved lines, the angled lines. That's all this is. It's just a ton of lines. If you can take an object and you can turn it into lines, shapes, values, especially here I've used a very monochromatic color scheme, it's going to be easier. Don't look at it and say, oh, it should be this shape. I know that shape. Just look at it and paint or draw what you see. So it's really these 4 colors: the Payne's Gray, the Natural Tint, the Burnt Umber, and the Paris Blue, which is 2 grays, a brown, and a blue, and they work really well. And for the background, that ended up being the Natural Tint, this slightly purpley tone that's really pretty up here. I believe that's a Natural Tint. That's what it looks like. Those are my colors and my paints, or my colors and my brushes. And let's go. Okay. So I took an image, I took a photo of what this looks like when the sun was out. And this is a real issue because I'm trying to capture it as the sun is hitting this little cup, my coffee cup. This is a fat bottom cup, and I love fat bottom cups because, they don't fall over, and it just looks awesome. So what I wanted to do was get that really long shadow. It's not going to work because the sketch that I did was much smaller. I focused in more on the coffee cup, so it's going to look more like that per se, not such a long shadow, which is okay. I love the spoon, and I love these highlights, all these whites in here, and where they're really the lights and the darks. Now, I am totally obsessed with capturing light, and the key to capturing light is putting in your shadows. So this image here, This image here, the shadows are not well defined, and so nothing stands out. There's not a strong contrast. But if you flip over and we see how now I move the desk just a little bit because the sun was moving past the window, and all of a sudden these shadows are really crisp and these lights are really strong, and the black silhouette, it's just gorgeous and it just pops off the page, and I just love how that feels. Here is a slightly different angle, and of course this is more with the warmth of the desk in there. So that's what I'm doing today. This is just a study, it's just for fun. I sat down and thought, you know what, I need to paint something here. I think we're gonna do the whole thing in like darks, grays, and well, with a touch of Payne's Gray, maybe some blue in there. There are colors, definitely, because there's the brown in the coffee, and there's the gold of the wood. So that's reflecting in there too. There's different yellows inside of the actual coffee, and I've got a different view, like you saw in that image, than you guys have. So I'm doing this really quick because I'm trying to capture that light. If you can tell, the light has already shifted. So if we move our table, see if we can get it back. Aha! A side note, you guys can always follow me on Pinterest. No. Yes, on Pinterest too. Pinterest under Scarlett Damen, Instagram under Scarlett Damen, and as well as How to Grow a Garden, or YouTube here under Learn to Paint with Scarlett and How to Grow a Garden. In the back here, from my view, is a little different. I'll put the image in so you guys can see what I'm seeing, but this part back here is all gray because it's in front of a gray wall. So I think I might put that in first. And I'm just going to do it really light for the first few bits. I want to put that in first because when dealing with something like this, I'm trying to do shadows. It is so important. The darks is what makes the light stand out. I'm using a nice fat brush. This is a size 12 round. I'm doing that because it's going to give me lots and lots of water or color, so I don't have to go back to my palette to constantly lifting up more water. You don't want to be doing that. I just want to concentrate on painting. I already have the right color. Alright, so that's the beginning. So where are we going to go from here? Okay, and considering it's a white cup, that's a lot of color. It's potentially going to go all over this cup. But that's okay. So, what should we do next? Let's do our coffee on the inside. And I don't know why, I just feel like it. So, have my spoon there. Ah, my spoon is lost. Oh no. And then up here, there's a little bit of coffee run on the inside of the cup. Looking pretty good already. Happy to that. Alright, we have our whites, then we have our grays. Pick up something like, maybe like that. Now over here I have some reflections, and they just come down straight lines. And then down here we've got a stronger line. Okay, it's much easier to do this while I have really strong, well-defined, because now the whole thing is a little soft. I don't think I'm going to get light back, so let's reference my photo. So on here it's just a light gray, but on here it's a pretty intense dark. So we've also got this coming around there and going up like so. Okay, and then we've got this dark line down here. Okay, and we can see that this is actually a really straight, solid line. Now what I'm seeing here is not such a solid, straight line. It's, like I keep saying that, of course. But we're going to, I'm going to go with a mix. I think we'll make it a little more than that. And don't forget, of course, it's going to dry much lighter than it currently is. It's also a perfectly straight line on the top here. This one doesn't work anymore, does it? Well, if we bring it up, there's a really bright line there. Ugh, my light is gone. So sad. And then over here, there's another line. So when attempting to do shadows, the most important thing is leaving in your whites. Leaving your whites. Don't mess with the white of the paper. You want those whites to shine through, because that is going to emphasize that it is a beautiful, bright, sunny moment. Alright, so we're getting in something a little darker. We're going to go this way. Because shadows like to do that. Well, there goes my sun for the day. We now have rain and snow. That's very funny. That's okay, because I have this beautiful picture to remind me of how wonderfully sunny it was today. So we've got, did I do that wrong? We've got this dark line which is in the wrong spot, but yeah, this is just from, okay. Let's imagine, because what I'm seeing here is correct. This goes up and comes over. Now, it should also be dark there. Right, this one, oh, right here, this handle piece, we've got a strong light going this way. And then in. Down and in. And then this needs to be filled in, but there is a fine white bit there. And that's going to get a lot darker. There we go. By making that line darker, I have now pushed this other gray into a softer layer. So now it doesn't look as dark. So this is a light highlight and that becomes a dark highlight, whereas before that was a pretty dark highlight. So we're layering it up on top that way. So that was the white part. It's probably too small. And then we're going to bring this handle down this way. And I really feel like leaving a little bit of white in there, but it's not in the image. Nor is it in what I'm seeing here. Okay, and then this is going to go down this way. And now I need to make that perfectly round. And it gets a little lighter in the middle here, but then it comes back not as dark as the top, but it comes back a little on the darker side. So we're going to continue that line. Maybe I'll skip it a little bit in the middle. And it comes back now. The bottom has to stay white. Let's the other way so I can see where the white is going to be. Okay, and then it comes up into a pretty dark section in here. And it comes up starting about there. About here. And then this is even darker, which is perfect because there's a layer underneath. So that's going to double up automatically. And I'll put a second layer on top of that little spot. That's looking pretty good. Isn't that amazing? That's a white cup. Nothing white about it. Okay. Where are we? Now we want to take that line darker, which is right here in the center. Making sure I leave that white, this white piece out there light and untouched. I'm just going to bring that to a point. That's a little artistic liberty there, that teeny tiny little point. So what else do we have? I could totally erase some of these lines. And also up here, in order to bring that out, I need to define that dark in the back more, which I don't want to do yet, because that's really going to come way out here. But there is this piece. Ooh, yes, there's this piece up here. Now I'm trying to paint in a way that I can always see the whites. I don't want to paint where the whites are, you know, if I did it this way, or, you know, well, if I did it so that my hand is covering the whites, that would be bad. So I want to turn my paper. Since it's such a small little piece, it's no problem to turn it around. If I was dealing with something bigger, then I would spend more time trying to get the right angles with my brush and not just always turning the paper. So here we've got a whole bunch of colors and we want to bring them all together. And we also have that blue with the handle. That's going to go back there. Like that. That will be behind, not the handle, sorry, the spoon. And then we've got this, which is going to ring around. It goes the whole way until it reaches that little spot there. That little brown is the coffee here. And then let's put that in. A little bit of blue, a little bit of brown, a little bit of gray. And I'm going to start nice and light, and then I'm going to add them in from there. And I want to go this way so I get a straight line. And it comes in from the bottom of the dark, I think. That is all in light. Really low here. You know what? I'm going to do a wash first. So I'll change it up a little bit. I'm going to put some water exactly where I want this to flow. Here. All the way out. And there's a tiny bit of white in there, so I have preserved that. Wee itty bitty bitty little bit down there. And now I'm going to drop in my shadow color. Into the wet, and I just want to let that move around. There is a little white line here. I think I need to take it out. I wanted to leave it in, but I don't think it'll work. There we go. Okay, and funny enough, there's also, can you guys see that? There's a line here. So there's this line and there's this line. So this line is actually lighter. So that means if we paint underneath it, then it goes from about here up in a big swoop. And all I need to do is add a little bit of extra color on top. We have a darker one here, which is way over here, and it's a circle. So it's not this light one, and it's, hold on. What do we got? A bunch of straight lines, a pure white line, somewhere in the middle there, a grayish thing up here. Let's try and add some more in here. I'm going to tone down that blue a bit. And make that line longer. And then also here, there's another one right on the edge of this. We've got this strange darkish line coming down the middle here. So this one right there, and that comes right out of the far side of this. So I'm just drawing it on right now with a little water bead here so I can see what it's going to look like. Because that back line is not where it should be, but that's alright. That kind of looks like the background, maybe? I don't know. So now the bead is too big, but at least I have a better idea. I believe this little line is going to give it depth. So it needs to come fat in the middle here. So I'm doing two things right now. I'm layering down a new color, but I'm also lifting out this little edge by drawing tiny, tiny, tiny little circles. And that will lift out that harder edge in there. Okay, that looks much better, doesn't it? Now the white really pops and the darks are darker, and I think we could even go ahead and add the same darker dark to a whole bunch of places now. For example, here. my little coffee cup is a little more exciting. Now let's do the coffee on the inside and the spoon. So for that, she'll find where the spoon is a little more defined. And we will come in the inside, I think, a darker. Yeah. Not too dark, but a little darker. And I don't know if the side of the spoon here is going to be. Because the spoon is silver, so it's really defined by its surroundings. This is going to go around here. So the dark side needs to follow to bring out the rim. And the rim is white. Just let it sit for half a second and lift some of it out. There's really a pure white spot there, and this is like a grayish, a tanned, like a shadowy white. So let's decide if we want to do that, because we're going to lose some of our final whites. Don't have a lot left at this point. Down here on the far side, the entire length. And I think I want to make a triangle here. So I still have this little handle to do. This handle, we're going to have to give it a darker top because I painted over it. Shouldn't have done that, but that's okay. Okay, this is where it would be really great if I had a super tiny brush. Because right here, there's a really small shadow that I would love to capture. Okay, so I just put a darker line down here to just redefine the bottom corner of that cup. Go that way. And I want the cup to stand out, so it's really light, so I'm going to put in some dark behind it. This line, that line, ooh, this underline is very dark. Let's define the under. Okay, so at this point it's taken me 1 hour and 37 minutes and 15 seconds to paint this. Could definitely do more on the inside. Can I get more of a water kind of texture up here? thing I could do left is try to fix this corner because I'm still not pleased with that. And I think the best way to do that is to add a tiny little line here. Okay, so I think for a study that is really good. I'm quite pleased with the way that looks. So let's skip to, see? There we go. We are missing the handle. I did not notice, but we are indeed. So let's put that into. There we go. Okay, so I think we're done. 1 hour, 46 minutes and 31 seconds to completion. There's my morning coffee. I guess it's time that I dump it and start again, because at least for the drinking part, because it's obviously cold. Thanks for watching. I'm Scarlett. This was Learn to Paint with Scarlett. If you got this far, that is totally awesome. I have a whole bunch of playlists. Don't forget that there are timestamps if you want to go back and watch this again and jump to any particular spot. In this one, it might be a little difficult. There will be a timestamp, obviously, for the talking, and then when I start painting, and then maybe when I do like the under layer and the first layer and the handle and the spoon and stuff like that. So it'll be pretty vague, but you can at least jump back and see if you want to see us. Jump back to a specific spot if you want to see it. This is what it looks like now. I am quite pleased with this. This is the first time I have ever done my coffee cup. I've done lots of other little things that are around, but never my coffee cup in the sunlight. It was a lot of fun, and I'm very happy and pleased that you guys were able to join me. It was awesome having you here. It really does help me. It's interesting when I talk and paint at the same time. I think I'm getting better at it. But it helps me focus on what I'm doing a little more, which is interesting because in the beginning it was totally the opposite. So show me. Okay, so show me some love and give me a thumbs up if you like this video and you want to see more of my paintings and how I do them and how I describe them. Please tell me in the comments what you thought or felt that you were here, so I know who, of course, joined me in class. And let me know what you want me to paint. If there's anything specific that you guys think would be really awesome for a study like this. This is totally what I love to do. This, flowers, places, things, objects, still life, that kind of stuff. Not so much into people, but that might come, you never know. And anyway, I will say toodaloo for now. Thank you very much for joining me, and have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode. Join me for class. We're doing it often. I can't tell you exactly when at the moment because we did just move and life's a little crazy. We're about to move again. We're in our little transition spot in the middle. But I will be posting regularly and often and definitely more in the future. So please subscribe, and I'll see you later. Toodaloo.